How's it going? It's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Pewag all-square snow tire chains with cam tensioners on our 2022 Nissan Frontier. This is going to be on tire size 265/65 R17. Make sure you check the fit guide on our website to get the right fit for your tire size. Also, we have them on the rear axle as per the owner's manual. Also, make sure you're double checking that to make sure you get the chains on the right axle for your car. These chains are going to be an in-between as far as aggressiveness goes. They have pretty large square links, so if you live in an area that gets a decent amount of moderate snow and ice, these might be a good option for you. The square design is going to help them dig into the ice and snow, and they do have a ladder pattern, which basically means that the links go straight across the tire, parallel to one another. It's going to be really helpful for starting and stopping, but not going to be as great on coverage for turns, and you're definitely going to feel it a little bit more while you're driving. As I mentioned, the links are square, which is going to help just by the general shape get a little bit more traction in ice and snow. These have grooves built into them for just a little bit of even more surface area and more traction. The chains are made of a manganese nickel alloy, so they're going to hold up really well to rust, weather, and corrosion, and they're going to last a lot longer than low carbon steel chains would. On the front of the chains, we do have those cam tensioners that I mentioned at the beginning. There's 3 of them. They're really just designed to help get that initial tight fit onto your tires, so you can turn 1, 2, or 3 of them. In our case, we used all 3. The chains do have those cams that I mentioned to tighten everything down to get that initial fit or that initial tension, but we still recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners as well, just to get a little bit more security and keep the chains in place while you're moving along. The chains do come 2 to a set in this pretty lightweight plastic bag. It's not my favorite for these chains. They're pretty heavy duty, they're pretty large, and they do have a lot of points on them that tend to dig into these pretty quickly. So they're fine for the first time, but if you're going to get these chains and keep them for a while, I'd recommend picking something a little larger, more robust to keep them in, like some kind of plastic tote. And you can keep some oil or lubricant on the chains in the off season to keep them in a little bit better shape. So I would recommend doing that. As far as the install of these chains go, it's not too terrible. You do have to get around it under your car. We do recommend trying it out beforehand in your garage before you find yourself stranded on the side of the road trying to figure it out. But you can check out how we did that right now. First thing we like to do for the install is lay everything out flat, center it up, make sure nothing is caught up, twisted, or tangled with itself. With these, the cams sometimes turn preemptively, so make sure that none of those are already turned, and then we want to make sure the chains are facing the right direction. To do that, we use these large hoops at the end of each set of links. We want to make sure that this flat side is the side that's facing down or the side that's going to be making contact with the tread of our tires, rather than this pointed end on the other side. So the way we have them right now is the way we want them to be. From here, we will drape the chains over our tire. I like to just grab a couple of the links where they intersect in the back, and then slowly get them on and over, trying to make sure that we have even distance front to back as well as side to side, trying to make sure everything is as spread out as possible. And then we'll make our first connection on the back side. For this connection, it's as simple as fitting this hook into one of the loose links on this side. So for now, I'll go with maybe number 2 or the 3rd one, probably a little bit more, so we'll probably go for the 3rd one. We can come back and adjust that if we need to, but our next step will be connecting the front. Connection on the front, like I said, just about the same thing. We're going to go for the 2nd, maybe the 3rd link in our case here. Just again, fit this hook through the loose link. Maybe we'll just go for number 2. We do have those cams still to tighten everything down, which we'll do now using this provided lever tool. We'll start with the top one. Just fit it in there. We'll turn them counterclockwise, just like that. We'll come down here, do this one on the left. Same thing. And we'll tighten up the last one as well. Right there. Those cams did a great job in getting that initial tension, that initial fit into our chains, but we still do recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners. I'm basically just going to put this on similar to how you would put a tire on or take it off, going top to bottom and left to right, trying to maintain as even as possible, hook side out. This is just going to be an extra layer of security. So when you're bumping along ice and snow, the chains are going to shift. This is just going to help try to keep them in place a little bit, just like that. Once you have that rubber tensioner in place, make sure you get the chains installed on your passenger side tire as well. Roll forward and backward just a few times to make sure that everything is in place and secure, and you're ready to go. So if you want on-road chains that are going to give you pretty much the maximum bite that you can get as far as on-road goes, these are going to be a great option for that. This again was just a quick look at the Pewag all-square snow tire chains with the built-in cam tensioners on our 2022 Nissan Frontier.